Welcome back to the Traders Network Show, broadcasting worldwide from Davos, Switzerland. I'm Matt Bird. We're here for the 2020 World Economic Forum. My next guest is Jason Kelley, Global Head of Blockchain for IBM. Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, pleasure.
Well, it is cold out, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to act like I'm warm and it's good, but we'll just keep smiling and talking. So,
I'm really glad we had a chance to bump into each other yesterday. Unexpected. And we talked a lot about a lot of stuff. And, what IBM's doing on the connectivity side, some of the stuff you're doing on the big data side, which is really exciting. But most importantly, we're here on the streets of Davos, and the talk on the streets of Davos is always blockchain. Right?
We'll take that.
It's changing the world.
Changing the world, changing the way people do business and interact as a whole. And not just interact, but this thought of they're interconnected, but since we're here at Davos, we know they're not just connected, but now they're interdependent. Huh. We work together, we live together, and it's changing the way we think how that happens and how we actually execute on that. So these messages of sustainability aren't just cool things to say, but they're ways to act. How do we think about a circular economy? These things are no longer just buzzwords, but things that are real. That's what I'm enjoying.
We talked about some of the challenges in today's climate in the big data and the big business world. What are some of the things that you're running into today to get over those hurdles, to get into adoption and the adoption of some of the new data systems out today?
So when we think about data, I think it's really hits the heart of what we think is real and isn't real. Mm-hmm. So trust.
Yes.
You know that it's trust and transparency around that data. And so when we say these thoughts of sustainability, say, show me, and I could show you a lot of things, but would it be real? Would you trust it? Can we make this data something that we all can see with clear transparency and know that what we're seeing is real? Or is it just fake news again? Is it something that we're just going to click and believe because we want to?
And this is kind of cliche-ish and non-promotional, but that's what the ledger delivers is a layer of trust because it's immutable data.
Right. And now you sound like you're selling blockchain.
I think so. Maybe I should get in the business.
Right.
But go ahead.
Jokes aside, it really is that when you have the capability, you take this capability now where you can take something that had two things that was quite elusive. Both of them were quite elusive, which was, how do I share data amongst multiple channels? So how do I make sure that this source is trusted, this source may not be, but when we pull it all together, ultimately I see a real picture. How do I do that? And then when I see it, is it the data that I want? Is it right? Is it correct? Those two things, this thought of shared, permission, trusted access, and then once you see it, it's right and immutable. That's what blockchain does. So for all these the bright, shiny thing, blockchain, that's all it is.
Yeah.
So if we can do that starting with information, and information's a little broader than data, but then when we can do that with carbon credits, and we know that those carbon credits are actually ones that have been spent or ones that I'm credited with, or when the food you eat, I'm sure you eat well, you look at it, you wear it well, and we want to trust that. We want to trust the pharma that we're using. All of these things, if we can make sure that those things are trusted, now we're headed in the right direction.
So Hyperledger is a big keyword in the blockchain industry.
Yeah.
Tell me all the applications that you guys are getting into right now, because you're in from supply chain all the way to healthcare to
multiple areas. And so let's start with Hyperledger. Hyperledger and probably one other platform, Corda, are two very popular enterprise-wide, sometimes called permission blockchain networks.
Yep.
Ethereum is also another wonderful platform. Way back when it was years of blockchain tourism, people wanted to talk about platform wars. Put that aside and go where you just went. What's the outcome? Forget the technology. We could say blockchain and people listen. Throw that out and say, what about outcomes? And the outcomes are when I have a trusted supply chain. I know that coffee bean came from where it came from. Right. It was sustainable. And that when it comes out the other end and I'm drinking it, it's great. And after I drink it, did we grind it and put those grounds right back into the soil for the next coffee bean? That's the circular economy.
Who did that?
Exactly.
And when did they do it?
And can I tip that farmer, not just the barista, but can I tip the farmer because that's a wonderful cup of coffee?
Yeah. And what happened to that one bag of coffee that didn't make it from here to here that's been missing each and every time?
that one or the one that slid in that was irresponsibly sourced and now looks legit, but we don't know.
We don't know.
Right.
But
That's the transparency that we're talking
that's
about.
transparency. What are some of the other things that are exciting you right now within the space? I mean, you got your finger on the pulse. You're the head of IBM, and we're talking one of the biggest communication.
We like to call ourselves a 108-year-old startup.
Oh, that's nice.
And so we keep changing and transforming what we do, and it is exciting. And when I see this thought of collaboration across many players, and we sometimes call it now collaboration, because as we look at the wonderful IBM installation right across the street are other what they call consulting or advisory groups. And we see ourselves as that convener of capabilities, general contractor delivering on top of this promise of good tech, not just good tech alone, but good tech doing good things. So tech for good. And as that general contractor, I see this need for collaboration happening more and more, and that's what we're driving here for the good.
You know, I'd like to, for the audience watching, I'd like to give a very basic example of how blockchain and what it looks like, because I think there's a big misconception that blockchain is this magic pill that is taken that just solves these problems, but in reality it's a database, right? It's very much like we all know, like Excel, and what you do with Excel is really the formulas that are generated. You can put a pie chart on it, and that's the proprietary machine learning and the layers that go on it from a very simplistic point of view, right?
Right.
So no one ever sees blockchain. The block runs behind the scenes. It's the engine under the hood.
And as we go forward, hopefully we'll talk about it even less.
Yes.
It will just be, is this a trusted source of data?
Yes.
Is it immutable? And you'll say, yeah. You won't ask how, but you'll get it.
Will blockchain replace SQL?
Oh, it should complement. It should complement other technologies, and this is a key point. You know, as you bring that out, people think that it is
one or the other.
It's one or the other. Or
yeah.
You got to play. But if we're helping data, and data drives anything that data drives, augmented or you can call. I like saying augmented intelligence because it actually augments our human intelligence. But AI, analytics, automation, IoT, all of those things need data.
Yeah.
And if we're helping the data, then we're helping that. So that's what blockchain ultimately does. It acts as a catalyst to drive this true transformation with these other technologies that then come together.
Okay.
To deliver on a promise.
I love it. So I know you're a busy man, and we got some events to go attend, and hopefully you and I get to hang out a little bit. I want you to put your wizard hat on. Think forward in the future. What does the universe look like right now? Let's say in 21. What can we expect out of IBM the next year, 2, 5 years?
You're going to see IBM as we go forward become even more of this cloud-based platform company. And when we say platform, an overused word, especially here this year, it's just thought if we can just have that fertile landscape where others can plant the seeds and grow these new opportunities and doing it together, that's what I see. And I see IBM being the general contractor for that.
I love that. And you know what? I hope to get more input from you as you hit those KPIs and milestones.
All right,
Sound
man.
good?
Thank you.
Jason
Appreciate
Kelley,
it.
Global Head of Blockchain for IBM. You're watching a Traders Network show for Equities News, and special thanks out to our affiliate partners, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS. I'm Matt Bird. Don't go away. We still have more coming in our continued coverage of the 2020 World Economic Forum. We'll be right back after these messages. Thanks a lot.